Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Battle Lag Gamer, and today I have a wonderful series to start off with you all, and I'm talking a little fast because this is going to be a very high-paced series. This is going to be class bite-size for Pathfinder 2e. I'm going to tell you guys how to play a class in hopefully under 10 minutes and give you everything you need to be successful with what you need to do. And today I figured, as long-winded as I tend to be, I might as well start off with the most complicated of the classes to see if I really got the chops for this. So if I change your mind on the Alchemist, which we're doing today, I expect you to hit that subscribe button because I'm definitely going to earn it today. So, Alchemist, you're looking at this class and you're thinking, my god, this is a class that really doesn't seem to feel like it hits as hard as other martials because it is considered a martial just by grace of not being a spellcaster. But I'm here to tell you that their 2-hit bonus is about the same, barring a few levels, as all other classes. And that's going to be strictly due to the Quicksilver Mutagen. So the Quicksilver Mutagen is going to be what is going to keep you competitive with all the other classes. You're going to have a higher item bonus to hit, and as long as you're keeping your dex as high as you possibly can, you're going to be as close, even above in some cases, other classes, especially if they don't specialize as hard as dealing damage. Not only that, but with a variety of bombs you have access to, you can lay on the hurt even when you aren't doing anything that round to hurt the enemy. And that's going to be through persistent damage. The Alchemist Fire is a really good bomb. It does a D8, which is one of the highest that they can do, but only does 1 persistent damage, so every round they'll do 1 damage unless they recover from it. But the Acid Flask is really good because at level 3, it does 2d6 persistent acid damage. So as long as the enemy isn't immune or resistant to acid, which there are actually not that many, you're going to be doing 2d6 damage every round to that enemy without doing anything. And this can stack with the Blight Bomb, which is kind of the moderate between the two, that allows you to do a d6 damage and a d4 persistent poison damage. Now, on top of all this, you can be doing essentially a d6 plus a d4 persistent damage every round. And you can also throw a Bottled Lightning to make the enemy flat-footed to everyone until the start of your next turn, meaning this enemy is going to take a massive amount of damage from everyone. Now, all bombs have the splash trait, and splash trait adds damage to the hit. So you hit, you apply the bomb's damage, plus its splash, and then on the enemy's turn, at the end of their turn, they take the persistent, and then they try to remove it. Splash also applies to all surrounding targets and your allies. So the Backfire Mantle, a level 3 item, and it's common, and not only that, it's only 45 gold pieces. Getting it for your frontline is so good, so easy, because it gives them a resistance to splash damage, and honestly, resistance 3 to splash damage will make them pretty much immune up to a certain level of your splash damage. So just this simple purchase for your team is really good. So we talked about bombs. What else is Alchemist about? Because Alchemist is actually so much more than just a bombing class, even though just a bombing class, they can do a lot. And the thing is, with the Alchemist, they're like a wizard, only a lot better and a lot worse in some certain cases. The Alchemist has a feature called Quick Alchemy, which allows you to spend some batches infused reagents that allow you to make any of the alchemical items that you have in your alchemical crafting book. Any. You're not like a wizard or a sorcerer or anything who has a certain number of spells they can cast per day or anything. Well, I mean, you have batches, which is certain times per day, but the wizard has to slot specific spells for a day. The sorcerer has a limited list of spells they can use any of their spell slots for, kind of, sort of. But anything in your alchemical crafting book, you can craft as long as you have infused reagents, which you get a ton of, a metric ton of with this class. And so, due to this, as long as you're constantly adding more alchemical items to your book, you're going to be more versatile and have a higher utility than any caster that could possibly enter your party. It's really nuts. And you can even get a familiar that can give you more batches of infused reagents every day. You also have a feature called Advanced Alchemy, which allows you to, at the beginning of the day, spend some of these infused reagents to give you extras. You get 2 batches, and then later you can get 3 batches, and You can also get perpetual infusions that allow you to make some of your lesser bombs, but an infinite number of time. This is actually really good for something like Bottle Lightning, because even just making an enemy flat-footed with one of your attacks is so good, even if it's at a lower level for the item. This all makes the Alchemist good. And the thing with Alchemist, all alchemists are equally good at creating and making all types of items, barring perpetual infusions, which allows you to create infinite amounts of lower levels for certain types. As long as you pick out the type of research field that matches your particular playstyle, it's really good and really easy to just make an alchemist who can do the things. You want to make a healer? Bam, go Kyurgeon. You can make elixirs on the fly really easy. And there's even healing bombs you can throw and hit your allies with in combat to essentially force feed your allies bombs in combat. It's really, really good. There's so many good ways to try the Alchemist. Quicksilver is just absolutely necessary, because if you're planning on doing any attacking, it's necessary to be competitive with the other marshals as far as your 2-hit accuracy, as long as you're focusing on your dex as much as your intelligence. Now, there's another feat I would like to mention here as well, and that's Revivifying Mutagen. It actually lets you take a mutagen that you've consumed for whatever buffs that you've gained. You can metabolize it, get a d6 per 2 levels of the item in health back, and it makes you godly, because not only can you restore a bunch of health back pretty easy, but in conjunction with the Juggernaut Mutagen, which gives you temporary hit points, you can give yourself almost infinite hit points as long as the enemy's output doesn't, overtake your metabolizing and then drinking another Juggernaut Mutagen, especially because unless you're a mutagenist, you can only drink one mutagen, or you can only have one mutagen active at a time. So that's something that's very important to mention. Now, at level 9, another feature that you should not ignore is Double Brew. It allows you, when you're doing a quick alchemy, to make 2 items rather than 1. This is really good for keeping consistent with your alchemical items as you're throwing them in combat. Spending an action to create 2 and then throwing 2 bombs is a really solid way to go. You can also do this to chug multiple health potions, create 2 health potions, chug 2 health potions, become tanky, whatever. This is a very, very solid way to make yourself very consistent at what you're doing. You can even split it up. Bombs, elixirs, whatever, mutagens, whatever you need. By the way, speaking of feats, Perpetual Breath allows you to take another research field's items to add to yours. So if you're a bomber, for instance, you can use it to make Perpetual Quicksilver mutagens, which, is very, very handy, though you probably should be making, Quicksilver mutagens in your spare time as well. Speaking of your spare time, another feat that you should possibly take as well is the Inventor feat from the crafting skills, which, crafting is your thing, you're an alchemist. Inventor will allow you to add alchemical items to your book just by paying the full price for them, even if you don't have access to these items. So you can essentially learn their formulas without them being there. So the Inventor feat is actually really good. And that is going to be Alchemist Bite Size. I hope you all liked it. If you did enjoy and I changed your mind on the Alchemist, splash the sub button down there. I think I've earned it. And that's going to be it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. Good luck with your games. Leave the bad luck to me. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.